Hey guys, thanks for tuning in today. I've just got a couple records recently, so I thought I'd do a quick vinyl update, show you guys some of the stuff that I've picked up recently. I've got some of it from antique store downtown here in Stevens Point called Call It New, Call It Antique. Their prices are generally terrible and overpriced, but I went down there last week and I found one thing, out of the hundreds of records they have. I found one that I thought was reasonably priced and actually in good shape, so I picked that up. I got some stuff on Amazon, and I bought some other stuff from the record store here in town, Radio Chaos. So I just thought I'd go through and show you what I picked up recently. First off, we've got Some Girls by the Rolling Stones. This is something probably everyone in the world owns. It's the Stones' highest selling record to date. And it's not my favorite, but it's one of their better ones. It's definitely their best effort, after the run from Beggar's Banquet to Exile on Main Street, with Let It Bleed and Sticky Fingers in the Middle. I think this is probably their best effort post Exile on Main Street. But it's a great album, front to back. Misuse on here, Beast of Burden, Shattered, and I think Keith Richards' best song that he does in there's a handful of tracks by Keith that Keith sings lead vocals for in the Stones discography. Happy off Exile, you got the Silver off Let It Bleed. I'm sure there's a couple others that I'm not accessing in my brain off the top of my head, but Before They Make Me Run is on here, and I think that's Keith's best effort as far as him doing vocals on a song that he wrote. So this is a great album. I got it for a really good price. The vinyl is, I'm not going to pull it out, but the vinyl's in great shape. Take my word for it. I already had, one of the reissues with the color, multicolored front jacket. But, the Stones are my favorite band, and if I see an original for a good price, it's absolutely coming home with me. Another Stones disc I picked up recently as well. Their new one, Blue and Lonesome. This is a great LP. It's a double LP. Great stuff on here. It's very bluesy. Sounds very like, some of their early efforts in the early 60s, like England's newest hitmakers, Rolling Stones Now, where they do a lot of, covers. They're all blues covers, Bo Diddley and Muddy Waters and that kind of stuff. This is very much like that. It's very Brian Jones-esque. Obviously, Brian Jones isn't on here. Rest in peace. But this is very much that kind of a record. Mick plays some really shredding harmonica on here. It's a very awesome record. It's probably their best since Tattoo You, but this is $38 for really nothing special. It's just a double LP. There's a nice gatefold on it of the band looking, awesome like usual. But there's nothing special about this record. It's just on black, black vinyl, and I think for $38 I should get a little more than that. It's not very rock and roll of the Stones. It's just like you try to go to one of their concerts right now and you can't get a ticket for less than $400. So they're kind of sold out in their old age. I remember Keith giving Mick an incredible amount of crap when he was knighted, and they've all sold out now. I mean, the music's great, but for $38, I don't know. I'm a huge fan, so I had to get it, but otherwise it's probably not something I would have picked up. A couple things I got off Amazon here. The first is some 90s electronic trip-hop. This is Massive Attack versus Mad Professor. No Protection is the album. This one is referenced on High Fidelity when they're talking about the top 5 side ones, track ones, in the record store there. Rob mentions this one. The first track on here, Radiation Ruling the Nation, mentions that one in that segment of the movie. This is an awesome record. This just got a repress. I love Massive Attack. I think this is my favorite album of theirs, to be honest. It's their first record, and if you can get your hands on this one, it's pretty cheap on Amazon since it's been reissued. So if you like electronic music, you like trip-hop, that kind of stuff, definitely look for this one. This is an awesome record. Another thing I got recently here, I think I showed this in my record cleaning video, but this is Too Much Guitar by the band Raining Sound. This one I got on Amazon as well. This was a recommendation of my buddy Nick. And this is awesome stuff also. This was really cheap. I want to say this was like $11. But this is great, just garage, revival, punk, kind of dick swinging rock and roll. It's awesome stuff. So if you're into garage revival, punk music, anything like that, this is something you'll definitely be into. It's kind of a weird mix and recording. The vocals are super washed out, which you kind of expect from a garage record, but they're especially washed out in this. Nevertheless, still a great record. Happy to add that to the collection. Some more Amazon stuff here. This is another 90s electronic disc that just got a repress. This is the Richard D. James album from Aphex Twin. If you're not familiar with Aphex Twin, awesome electronic artist from the mid-90s. This is one of my favorite albums from the 90s, actually. If you get a chance to listen to anything on here, listen to Cornish Acid on this. Aphex Twin's from Cornwall in England, and he's one of my favorite artists from the 90s. This is an awesome record. I'll show the vinyl here because there's some pretty cool labels on the front, side 1 and 2. You can see those there. Kind of see some pretty cool packaging and artwork on the labels on this disc. And like I said, one of my favorite records from the 90s. Super happy to add this one to the collection as well. Some more electronic stuff. Got this on Amazon also. Really good price on this. I want to say it was 14 or 15 bucks. This is the album Awake by Tycho. And this is a great ambient electronic record here. Sounds amazing on the turntable. If you've ever listened to this digitally, hearing it on vinyl, it doesn't even compare. It's truly a phenomenal record. So if you're into ambient music, electronic music, this is one of my favorite albums of the last couple of years, and definitely worth listening to, picking up. You can see the labels on the record are very similar to the cover of the album. So that's pretty cool. This is a really cool record. Tycho's a great artist. I know he just came out with a new one also. I don't have it on vinyl, but it's fantastic as well. So if you can find this one on Amazon, like I said, I think I paid 14 bucks for this one. So if you can find it for a reasonable price, I'd definitely go with it. Last one I got on Amazon recently, this is the Budos Band. This is their third album, I think from 2010, maybe 2011. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. It's a Daptone release. The Budos Band, if you're unfamiliar with them, are instrumental jazz funk, and they're awesome. I think this is more like background music. I turn this on when I have people over. If you're cooking Sunday morning type stuff, it's an awesome record. It's hard to listen to a lot of it over the course of a couple hours. I can handle like once through on the LP. But if you get like their new one's really good too. But a lot of the albums are all very similar. But you got to have a little Budos Band in the collection if you're into funk at all or jazz. This is great instrumental jazz, funk, fusion type stuff. Super cool records. That's the Budos Band 3. There's 1 and 2. I think there's an EP, and then they just released a new one, I think, in 2014 also. So awesome release here from the Budos Band. And the last one that I'm going to show today, I got at my local record store, Radio Chaos. This is the new release from one of my favorite bands of all time, the Jesus and Mary Chain. This is their new one, Damage and Joy. This is their first album, I think, in like 19 years. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Beat me up in the comments if I'm wrong about that one. But this is awesome. This is classic Jesus and Mary Chain. You would think this came out in 1992. My favorite album by theirs is Stoned and Dethroned, which I also have on vinyl. But this is a great band. Jesus and Mary Chain is a folk, kind of a power folk group from Scotland, alternative folk, late 80s, early 90s stuff. But their new release is vintage Jesus and Mary Chain. It's a double LP. The mastering is great. Sounds great on the vinyl. Great press. So yeah, if you get a chance, it's a little expensive for a new LP, but if you get a chance to, definitely give it a listen. It's an awesome, awesome record. So that's all the stuff I've bought recently. Thanks for watching. I've got a number of views on my last video, my record store day video. So if you watch this and you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you've got anything new recently, tell me about it down in the comments. I'll post some of the links to these records that I got on Amazon. The prices are always changing, but if you can find them at the same good deals that I got them for, definitely worth picking up. If you like the videos, like I said, give them a like. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. I love, being part of the vinyl community. And the more people in it, the better. So if you like it, subscribe to the channel. Thanks, guys. Hope everyone has a good week. Bye bye.